Zuhal Sultan. I am from Baghdad, Iraq, and I'm the founder of the National Youth Orchestra of Iraq. Well, first of all, I'm very honoured to be chosen by the Euphrates Institute for this award. For me, it is a great symbol of what the world should be focusing on, and it's what inspired me to create the National Youth Orchestra of Iraq. I lived in Baghdad, I was born in Baghdad, and it was very difficult for people to gain hope of a better future. It was a bleak existence for most of the people. And so an idea sprung up that why not bring the younger musicians from all over the country to unite together and portray that hope further. From that perspective, as a 17-year-old living in Baghdad with absolutely no idea how to create an orchestra or to manage an orchestra, I was set about trying to create the country's first national youth orchestra. With no resources, no means, only the idea and the hope that it may take place or not. At the time, I contacted a conductor who was living in Scotland, who's from Scotland actually, but was living in Germany, and I asked him if he could be the conductor of the orchestra. And then I went on to try and find the musicians, and I used the internet. And I've contacted musicians from all over the country and asked them if they would like to be part of the new project, of which they've sent auditions for through YouTube. And since then it has been the main way we audition musicians. We've utilised social media as well to progress the project and to gain further attention. And since then it has been a project that was born out of the internet, but sustained by global support and gained global recognition, which I'm very thankful for. With this orchestra, the challenge has been set the moment the idea was conceived, in a sense that you are not only creating something from scratch, and you're not only helping people who have had no means of educating themselves and who were self-taught mainly as musicians, but also this orchestra represents a cultural centre for the rest of the country. It has helped other countries in the world through concerts that we've had abroad to realise that there is music and that there is culture in a country that's only portrayed by war and violence. I see a great resemblance with what the Euphrates Institute is trying to do and the orchestra. We are both showing the world that peace is the way to go, and despite the violence, despite what we hear in particular countries, that the main event happening, people murdering each other, spreading hate. But in fact, there are a lot of people in there that are promoting peace and promoting hope and trying to live a normal life. In essence, what ISIS is trying to do is recruit young people to become violent, to spread hate. But what the National Youth Orchestra is trying to do is to recruit young people to spread music, to spread culture, to learn about each other and to understand each other. Because when you're sitting with a fellow musician, even though you don't speak the same language, you may not have the same upbringing, you may come from a different background, but you're sharing a fundamental common grounds, which is music. And when you listen to each other, you understand each other, then you know that you're not very different. And in that comes understanding and peace, and conflict pretty much disappears. The world needs to realize that we need to understand each other. We need to recognize that we are not very different. I just remembered one particular scene in the first year of the orchestra where we struggled so much to let them sit and talk with each other, the Kurds and the Arabs, because they have had conflicts with each other for decades. And one day they were sat on a bus and someone put on traditional music and one of the musicians started dancing and the rest followed on. And I think at that point that will always be my definition of peace, because they have broken a barrier that was established by their grandparents perhaps. But that particular moment when they just forgot about all their differences and they started dancing and laughing, I think that's one particular moment of peace that I'll never forget.